I mean, look, I know you've been trying to pay attention to Theory, but like, their songs are
they're good.
Really
yeah, they're good.
They just
like that late, it like totally threw me off because being it all in English, I was just like, wait.
Yeah.
And you had to point things out to me because usually it's like, oh, what did you see? And I was just like, nothing. I was just
that was
mesmerized
about a great video.
Yeah,
I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, I can enjoy it.
So funny. Okay. Say what? Hey guys, welcome back to Say What React. We're back again with another video with Carlos. What? Why are you laughing?
My little waves.
Hi. What's up? Hello. We are finally, guys. We have binge watched for what time did you get here?
We started at 8:30.
Yeah, we started at 8:30. It's 2:15, so we'll probably be done by about 2:30.
Yeah.
We have been recording videos for almost 6 hours now.
Yeah.
Because we are just determined to get through all the MVs that have to do with the storyline, because we don't want to have to record, come back in 2 weeks, be like, okay, wait, what happened in that video? I don't remember. We're powering through it. We're doing this shit. So last video as of now, of course, more will be released, I'm sure, later. But last video as of now is Love Shot. This is another one that has a lot to do with the storyline. Now, a lot of people think that this one might be connected with Monster and Lotto based on kind of the goings on in the MV. So just take that as you will. I'm sure you'll have something completely different than that.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
And we'll see where it goes. So once again, I'm not really going to say much. A lot of people are really just super distracted by Kai in this video.
Yeah, which I can see. These guys
and Chaniel also doesn't have a shirt on under his leather jacket at one point. He's super distracted as well. Literally, this just came out in October. Or no, sorry, this just came out in December.
Okay.
So this is
fresh.
Really fresh.
Yeah.
Just came out in December. And remember how we talked about how like these guys just don't age? Yeah. They all look amazing in this video. So, okay, let's do this. Ready, guys? Let's go.
Was he holding a water gun?
It's a tequila gun, like a shot.
Yeah, or it's just like a bottle. Yeah, a bottle of tequila.
Shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the love shot.
Did you notice that their logo changes with every single album?
Yeah.
Which I think is so cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, that was a lot.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I'm starting to believe, the more I'm watching, it's like I'm starting to see a transition that we're seeing the potential other dimension EXO light turning into the Red Force. There's so much, because like in this one, what's heavily in this one, what's relevant in the very beginning? Movies, guns, money, gangsters doing gangster things. Sorry.
He gets so excited and he starts tapping on the table and the thing he shakes.
So it's like in the Cocoa Bop, where it's like, you know, very fun, laid back, drug fueled or consumption fueled, whatever your poison may be. But like in this one, it's like these past couple of videos, there's a lot of alcohol in it. There's also a lot of flowers in it. But in the CBX videos, after they get everybody's mind, after everybody's woke and they save everybody from the news and stuff,
right,
they burn all the flowers.
Did they burn the flowers?
In that little camp, in that little like party that they're having in the camp circle, they burn all the flowers.
Okay.
And like this one, they're collecting all the flowers.
But I think they're collecting the flowers because they're okay. Hold on. Let me go back to let's go through this. Let's break this down. Okay. I kind of want to like. Oh, here, actually, so we're just going to play this through and I'm going to pause it several moments, okay? So once again, Baekhyun is looking down and like almost like overseeing everything once again.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a cough. So we have someone who's masked.
Yeah.
We as fans knew it was Schumann because he's the only one with those eyes out of the entire group. He's the only one with the monolids out of the entire group.
Yeah.
So we were like, that has to be Schumann. That has to be Schumann. And it turns out it is, because he takes off the mask at the end.
Yeah, and he walks
Everyone, remember, they were interrogating each other in tempo, trying to figure out who was the clone, insider, who was the insider. Yeah. It was Schumann. So it's revealed in this video, Schumann was the insider.
Right.
And so Baekhyun finds that out, and they're facing off each other. Because Baekhyun this whole time has been overseeing this and trying to like help.
Who got arrested in
Lotto?
And Lotto. Who got arrested and had the tape? Who was that?
That was Chanyeol.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Chanyeol.
What was on that tape?
No one knows.
See, there's too many things
going on.
The world
may never know.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't always go based on just
once again,
what we see.
This story isn't complete.
Right.
I mean, like,
or
this isn't
coherent.
That too. Okay,
I think Power really threw a wrench in the whole program.
For you, yeah, definitely.
Just in general. Yeah, there's no way that you can say that this event correlates with this event, because that video is like, none of these things are happening in a way that can be perceived. That you can, if you can try to pinpoint these things, it's like you're reaching very far, and you yourself are convincing yourself that these things are connected.
Yeah.
But when they themselves come out and say,
this is what it is.
This is what. Well,
that's the only time we'll know, when they actually confirm everything to us, and who knows when that'll be.
Yeah,
we're all like super, super, super hoping that.
But they're getting darker. The group is getting darker as a whole.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah.
You can spin that however you want. Try to say they're doing bad things for good things.
But don't we as humans get darker as we get older?
No.
You don't think we do?
No.
We're super innocent because our mind isn't filled with anything when we're younger, and we learn all kinds. Innocence and darkness
are two different things.
But you know what I'm saying,
right? But for the fact that if this,
we become more woke as we get older. How about that?
Well, I mean, because you can believe what you want to believe. You know what I mean? Because we live in a world where we can perceive whatever we want, and we can just be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, we can just totally ignore and not acknowledge facts.
Yeah.
Because it makes us feel uncomfortable. Or it's not, we refuse to acknowledge that's the world that we live in. Yeah. Which is fine. Everybody, you can, you want to live in La La Land, live in La La Land. Do you. Do you, boo. Do you.
Do you, boo. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's continue with this, because if not, this video is going to be forever. He's looking up at the moon. Okay. Now, here, we have Chen. He's
back
drinking.
Rows. Yeah, and he's back.
He's drinking. Well, right now, there's no one in the theater but him.
What's he got on there? He's got a gun, got some cards, got
I
some
think
booze.
he has the cards, he has the liquor, with the flowers, again.
In it.
Now, someone's covering his eyes. You saw that, right? But yet he's by himself, but then now... Okay, so the person who's covering his eyes is Suho. Okay? Suho was the one who was trying to cleanse them.
Right.
In Coco Bop. He's the leader. He's their guardian. He knows...
That's the theory you want to go. If you think that they're cleansing, if they're being cleansed.
Yes.
But how do their videos are getting darker and darker? So that cleanse thing. That's why I can't... But continue.
Because, remember, I'm on the theory of cleansing because of them. They're detoxing.
No, I get that.
That's them being detoxed.
But they're just putting more booze. And living that hard life after.
No, detoxing from the...
from the sedatives.
From the sedatives, not from liquor.
Right.
Like, they're just detoxing from the drugs that they were on in the facility when they were being experimented on. That's all that he's trying to do is detox them from that, not from...
No, I get you. Okay. I get you.
So anyway, he knows that they're finding out Schumann is the bad guy, and they know Chen is also involved. He is hiding Chen's eyes from seeing that they all know. He doesn't want Chen to know that they know. So, because he doesn't want Chen to stop their mission.
But we don't know what they're watching.
Well, if we don't know what they're watching, you're right. But supposedly...
Because now it's going to make me be more critical when they go back to the scene where they're all in the theater. Is he there?
He is, yeah. Yeah, he is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so... hold on. Yeah, okay, so, anyway, so, because apparently the whole goal here, because if you notice, it almost looks like they're robbing a bank.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, okay, so obviously there's Schumann with the red phone. He's getting a phone call from somebody.
Yeah.
So, once again, Schumann is the one who is the infiltrator. He's the clone, right? And he reveals himself as the clone. They figured out it was him. They're squaring off.
He sold them out.
He sold who out?
He sold the group out.
So some people are saying that they think, okay, so it looks like they're robbing a bank, right? But although they're supposedly robbing this bank, if you watch after Kai sexually body rolls towards us, hey, like, look at this fucking... Get out of here with that look on your face, boy. Okay, here. So there's the money, the rolls of the money. There's the matches. There's whatever these vials are.
Right.
There's the L's, I think, which represent us. But if you look, and he just held up the card with the L.
Yeah.
But if you look here, and I don't know what he's looking at there, actually. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not really... It looks like one of the vials of liquids, which are the flowers, probably blended up flowers, the liquid. Yeah.
Could be.
That he's been blending up and concocting. But they're throwing the rolls of money in the fire.
Yeah.
They're not burning the flowers anymore.
Right.
They're throwing the rolls of money in the fire.
Well, they did that in the other one, too.
Yeah, they burned the money in the other one because they don't need the money. That's not their end goal. Their end goal isn't to get money. Their end goal is to defeat the Red Force. Now, if you notice, those three people, there's Dio waiting in the car to be the getaway driver, right? Yeah. Then we have Chen Yol and Sehun and Kai going in. Okay? Now, Sehun... Okay, so now we have Suho. He looks like he's almost in a camera room, almost monitoring everything that's happening. Yeah. He's also the one that just covered Chen's eyes, okay? We have a cube filled with red liquid here. Right? Okay. So let's continue. So if you notice, he's standing over somebody with the flower and the gun in his hand. He's standing over the only person in the mask. Who was the person in the mask? Schumann.
Right. Yeah.
And this guy is like dead on the ground.
Yeah.
So we think they killed the clone. So now that the clone is out of the picture, they've figured out who the clone is. They've gotten rid of the clone. Where is Schumann?
Right.
So now we feel that the next thing is going to be them finding Schumann, which makes sense into the fact that Schumann will be gone because of the military service. So, okay, next. 2 moons, which is interesting because there was 2 suns. So that would make sense if they're looking at, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. That I find I think that's just a camera reel.
No, yeah, it's a projector.
It looks like, yeah, projector. Because they're in a theater.
Yeah.
So this is, they call them Sky because it's Sehun, Kai, and then Chen Yo, which goes by Yo sometimes.
Right.
So they call that little group Sky. A lot of people have theories that Chen Yo, they announced that Chen Yo will be starting a subunit, but they haven't announced who with, and a lot of people are like, it's going to be Sky, it's going to be Sky, so we don't know. But it would make sense because if you notice in here, we got Sky here, but we have CBX.
Yeah. I noticed that when we were going through it.
Yeah. So Sky, and then CBX.
Yeah.
So it's like Sky versus CBX. So CBX, and now whether Baekhyun is actually trying to stop these guys or whether he's now been infiltrated with them as well, I don't know. But we have them versus them, kind of.
Yeah.
Because these guys are trying to.
They're drawing the line in the stand.
Yeah, these guys are trying to get the flowers from this bank.
Right.
So it's not about the money. They're after the flowers. If you actually look later in the video, and the freaking SWAT team's freaking here again, ruining everything. Like, just can you stay out of our way? We're trying to do our thing.
No, you just
but
can't
if you
break
look
the
in
law.
here, the flowers are in the vault.
Yeah.
Not, you know, obviously the money is too, but that's not what their end game is. And of course, it's a double entendre with the love shot.
Yeah.
So right now they're still kind of working together because they're all trying to fight against the SWAT team.
Right.
Because they're like, get the fuck out of our way. You're ruining what we're trying to accomplish. So Schumann reveals himself, but then he faces off against Schumann. So is Baekhyun actually still on their side?
Right.
He hasn't actually succumbed to the Red Force. Like, they've been trying to get him to pull him in, but he hasn't yet because he is different from the rest of them.
Right.
He's not susceptible like the rest of them are. Okay, so they're out of their way now. Now they can continue on their mission, which is going to the vault.
Yeah.
To get the
steal all
flowers.
the flowers, yeah.
To get rid of them before CBX can get their hands on them and continue with their concoctions.
Right.
So they're trying to get the flowers away from CBX to freaking get rid of them, so that they can't continue doing what they're doing.
Right.
And
Which
trying
we don't
to,
know. We don't know what they're doing.
Well, trying to get everyone to get to the Red Force with them.
Right.
That's the theory is. They're trying to get everyone to come over to the Red Force with the rest of them.
Yeah.
And then we have Dio here pouring the liquid out of the red cube. Hi, Sehun. Pouring the red liquid out of the red cube. To me, that would symbolize that they beat it. You see what I'm saying? You don't. Because the last video they were drawn back to the cube, the red cube.
Yeah.
And now he's like, we're done with this.
We're done with this. Yeah.
Because they won. They got the rest of the flowers out of there, and now CBX can't get their hands on them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like my breakdown of the video, and you see how that would make sense.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, given all of that, what's your thoughts?
I'm sticking in my opinion, man. I think that they are the Red Force.
You think all of them?
Yeah,
not some of them, all of them.
At some point in time, because their whole thing from the beginning has been unity. Corrupt one, you corrupt them all. But again, there's so many things that are happening in the world that they're being exposed to, and we're seeing a part. We're being introduced to things that we had never seen or known about them. Right in the middle.
Okay.
Right before these videos came out, right in the middle, boom, this crazy poppy super
power.
Yeah, this crazy is just like
it's literally kind of smack dab in the middle of everything.
And it's like right in the middle, and it's letting you know like this is what's actually going on. Because before it's just like, oh, okay, they come in, this is what they represent, but the videos have progressively been getting darker and darker and darker, and it's been separating the group. And we don't know exactly if it's ideals And like you said, like you think that they're on EXO, and as more of the symbolism is like with the two moons. I don't think those moons are the suns, because remember, they're blacked out. The suns don't shine.
Yeah, true.
So ultimately, that's why, you know, they're not on a desert planet, because the suns don't work like normal or whatever. But anyway, that's just like getting into like nitpicking super details. But I'm starting to think that maybe those eclipses that we've been seeing have been those black suns or those dark suns over and
rather
over.
than actual eclipses.
Right.
Interesting. That's I haven't heard that one before either.
And it's one of those things again, because it's like we like to attach based on subconscious bias. We don't want this to be what it is, but the story as it's unfolding, the fact of the matter is that they're becoming darker and darker.
Yeah.
And the biggest rift is starting to be, they're starting to have subgroups. They're starting to
rift within
the group itself.
Yeah.
But they still perform in unison. Like even in this video, even though throughout this video we've been kind of seeing these tensions build, but in the beginning and at the end they're still together.
Yeah.
And like trying to try to pinpoint on who's a clone or who's with this and who's with that. But ultimately that's when the red force will ultimately win. Not on who's good and who's bad.
Because they're internally separating them. They're making them.
They're taking away all the power.
They're dividing them rather than.
Because they're stronger together, and if you can fragment them, they can be beaten.
And that's why people think that Schumann is not actually Schumann. He actually was a clone, and that's why Chen. They try to get Chen to be susceptible and everything like that.
I think,
and that's why Suho's trying to turn. They're thinking Suho's trying to turn Chen back to them.
Right.
They can get rid of the clone. That's fine. They just need to find Schumann. Chen's still salvageable because it's actually Chen.
But that's another thing as well too, because we want to think that these are clones. But
Schumann.
We can think if any of them. It didn't really matter who was filling that position, but ultimately being the fact that there are doors that open to different dimensions, and some members are
which we saw at the end of the CBX video, Blooming Day,
and some members are more susceptible or aware to those things. Because it's hard to say that some members are uncorruptible. They can't be corrupted by the Red Force. But at the same token, it's just like if you can start watching movies, watching news and TV, start fanboying and fangirling over what you want to believe, that's something that humans do, because we're easily susceptible. We can be swayed. Like in the beginning of this video, talking about living in a la la land, you can believe and want, but you can also, with that same admiration, shut down and close your eyes to the world around you. So I feel like that's ultimately, if they had came to Earth for what we originally saw, the first EXO, we'll just call them EXO 1 from the first couple videos, when they came to Earth and they saw what humans are like and how they interact, and they see the duality of the dark and the light in people, and for them to be pure, but being exposed to those experiments that could have turned them into clones, but then also in like Cocoa Bop, like we don't know.
Do you think the experiments is what started turning them dark?
I don't think so. I think ultimately altogether, I think it's one of those things of like trial by fire type deal, to where it's just like someone knows something. They've been exposed, like the first two members that I attached to in terms of story, like to me, they were the first people here.
Yeah,
you know
Dio
what I mean?
and Bacon.
Yeah, they were the first people here, and they kind of like surveyed and saw some things that they were, and ultimately the first song, the single with them, all of them together, that song was about, we need the power. We don't know if we can do this. We need to bring it. We need to bring all our strings together. But now, as it's moving forward, they're starting to fragment. They're starting to step away because they knew what the answer was in the beginning.
Do you think that? You just got me thinking now.
That's what I do.
That's what I do. Do you think that SM, if your theories are correct?
I don't know. Yeah, and to me, and it's not even like about being like
no. I know.
This is what they're laying out to me.
If your theories are correct, do you think that if your theories are correct and they are actually the Red Force, and that it didn't start out that way, obviously, but it became that way, do you think SM Entertainment decided to make that the actual, like, change the storyline to make that what it is when the members started leaving and the group was not united anymore?
I think that's like, because
do you think that at that point they decided we're going to change the storyline because of these guys?
Right.
These guys are going to ruin what we thought what's going to happen with our storyline and have all this super group and this wonderful unison.
Right.
But now these things aren't because it says in the very, very, very first video or very first debut, big debut video, Mama, it says, I'm actually going to go back to that real quick because I don't want to screw up what the saying is.
Yeah.
but it says basically when these 12 forces unite.
When the skies and the grounds were one, the legends,
Hold on.
through their 12 forces, nurtured the tree of life. But I, the red force, created the evil which coveted the heart of tree of life. The heart slowly grew dry. To attend and embrace the heart of tree of life, the legends hereby divide the tree in half and hide each side. Hence, time is overturned and space turns askew.
Time is overturned, which is
The
still
space is turned askew, yeah.
still the theory that's happening.
The 12 forces divide into two and create two suns that look alike.
Two
Into
suns.
two worlds that seem alike. The legends travel apart. The legends shall now see the same sky, but shall stand on different grounds. Shall stand on the same ground, but shall see different skies.
Which isn't really what's happening anymore because they're not doing the K and the M.
Well, not even
So-
that. The two suns have been blackened and dormant.
Yeah.
They don't shine light anymore.
Grounds beget a single file before one star. In two worlds that seem alike, the legends will greet each other. The day the red force is purified and the 12 forces reunite into one perfect root. A new world shall open up.
Okay, so the day the red force is purified and the 12 forces reunite into one root
Yeah.
is the day a new world will open up.
But this is also based on a legend.
So-
and there's some things in an event.
But
some
hold
things
on.
have to happen for this legend
So wait
to
a
come
second.
to fruition.
It says the day the red force is purified and the 12 forces reunite. 3 people left the group.
Yeah.
The 12 forces will never reunite
Right,
again.
right.
So do you think SM Entertainment decided, well, shit, there goes our shit. Like,
Right.
so now
I
it's
don't
not
think-
possible.
I don't think it's that. I mean, because they can do whatever they want. They can fill those gaps. They can put new people in if they want to. Realistically
Well,
speaking,
the
for
others
money.
supposedly consumed the powers, but
Right.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if we go with your theory and how they now became dark, do
When
you
we
think,
watched this video in the beginning, I talked about how, like, what ifs. There's a lot of what ifs if people were to leave, because you were told me, like, all these people aren't in that 1st video. You're like, there's people that aren't even in the group anymore. From there, and I was like, oh, okay. They've known that something would possibly happen in terms
you
of
think that from the beginning they always had what ifs in place?
This was like some Batman contingency plan. Like there was going to be a dark time. It just depended on when that dark time was going to happen. Because ultimately, as well, you know, as artists to mature as well too, there's a lot of booze in these later videos. These guys are older as well.
Well,
too.
yeah, they're older, yeah.
But they're also trying to get a more mature audience as well too.
Of course. Well, and
but the audience
just
is also
like they've
growing.
grown, the audience has
Grows
grown.
as well
Yeah.
too. So with that, we, like you said, people go through dark times as well too.
Yeah.
And to push away a lot of people, if they were to be more intimate with their all emotions rather than just the poppy, feel good, positive love,
Right.
unity aspect of it.
Life's a struggle.
Life is a struggle, and you have to acknowledge that just as much as the good parts. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I feel like them becoming the Red Force in any shape or form, the Red Force has to manifest in some way. Because this is like here.
Okay, so the red force is not manifested. The red force is going to have to manifest in some sort of
Right,
way.
right.
You think?
Yeah.
So you
For
think
the
red
legend to happen.
So you think the red force is manifesting within themselves?
For sure.
So how will the red force be cleansed?
Well, and that's the journey that we're on.
Yeah.
But see, because that's the thing. We like stories of happily ever after, but you know what stories we like better than happily ever after? We like stories of redemption more.
Yeah.
More people like to see their people that they love and admire. Because it's one of those things like, I can, from a standpoint, and not necessarily for like music, for like K-pop, you know, you have people that fan girl, whatever band, for whatever reason that they like, and they find some way to butt heads and to be negative and find some type of conflict between these factions of fandoms. But for what reason? What
Yeah.
reason? Because all these guys are in it to win it together. Like, they respect the other bands as much as they respect their craft. Because
Right,
it's
of
us.
course.
We create a lot of these tensions as people because
know, it's
we like to
stupid, yeah.
thrive in this drama. But life
hate
is
it.
full of a lot of drama. But if you look into the reality of aspect, that stems from something on the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like with this journey coming on, if it was to be the light all the time,
Yeah.
without a red force at all,
Yeah.
how long would they really, EXO as a concept really would have lasted, and how competitive the market really is.
Yeah.
So to go this route of this fantastical realm and this journey that they're going through,
Mm-hmm.
the best way to do is like, you have to lose some people to the red force. You have to lose something to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but well, I'm not saying we're not losing some people to the red
Yeah.
force. You're saying they're all lost to the red force.
Well, because this is the beginning this is something mystical, something of legendary proportion. There is no fact of continuity. This is just the idea of that this is the legend.
Yeah.
This is the myth of what comes through. Power comes out and says, this is what's happened.
Yeah.
Since then, like, because of this battle and this struggle, because we didn't know what the Red Force was, we know they're out there. But now that the Red Force has obviously got the upper hand at this point, that they're starting to infiltrate the group, starting to split the group, and now we're starting to put faces on it. But now that they've introduced that there's doors that we can walk through and there's realities that we don't perceive on one level, but as more people become more powerful from their respective dimensions or whatever the case may be, they have a knowledge that the EXO that we're following doesn't. So like every video that we watch is a different EXO dealing with something or overcoming something. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. That's how I'm perceiving all these things are coming into play, is the fact that
I like your theory. Yeah. I still don't necessarily think that all of them are like the Red Force. I still think I like a combination of the theories. Right. I think that maybe some of them are still succumb to the Red Force, and that others are still trying to fight it.
That's a lot of your bias playing at too, because
I don't necessarily think it's my bias.
I look at EXO as a unit, as a whole. I appreciate them as a whole. So I look at,
but obviously they're not if there's CBX and if there's, you see what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. So once they start to be fragmented, they're no longer EXO.
I mean, they're always EXO, but there's just sections of EXO.
But with that section of EXO, once you fragment the foundation will never be strong. So at that point, if they fragment into two factions, they're no longer EXO. They are now something totally different.
When did CBX come out?
You tell me. I don't know these things.
When did Hey Mama come out?
But what I'm saying, and so that regard is...
Hey Mama came out at the same time as like Power.
Okay.
Like
in the break in between time, whenever that particular album came out?
I think so. When did we watch it?
I don't even remember. Ago, probably. But that's like my idea.
I'm so confused.
My idea of EXO is them as a unit. So whenever
if something happens to one, something happens to all because we are one, and it makes sense.
And you can't like play by that rule when it's.
But you have to understand that's a process, though.
What do you mean?
It's not like, something happened to one, snap your fingers, it's happened to all. It's a process. Right. So it's happened to one, they're in the middle of trying to make it happen to all, but only one has succumbed to it, and the leader is trying to fight to not make it happen. It happened
to one, and now they're segmented into two groups. So now the whole of EXO has been fragmented because of one.
Right.
So that's.
I don't think that they're all Red Force because one succumbed to Red Force. But I do think that they're now starting to be fragmented in the storyline.
Well, look at it like this, right? So when the Light Man is getting injected with the darkness, that is the only actual that we can say in paper. The proof is in the pudding. Has been exposed to the Red Force and darkness. It's been injected in him. We see that. Right. It's assumed that they've all been gassed and we're assuming they've all been experimented on and they've all been running through these tests, but we only see one of them, the light, being exposed to the darkness.
Like the darkness being injected into the,
And that in itself, if we were to look at, there's all different groups of EXO, that particular one, there is no speculation on clones. He was exposed in that world.
Do you think... Okay, so hold on. I'm flipping this now. This video is so long. Okay.
Well, we edited it down because there's a lot of downtime because Fritz was dancing.
True, but it's not that much downtime. We're already on 35 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
Jeez, we've been talking a lot. Okay, so if that's the case, now that video was pretty far back compared to what we've seen
so far.
Okay, that's kind of the start of when it started getting dark. Yeah. So, do you actually think... Okay, so my theory has been Baekhyun's not susceptible like the rest of them are. He's up top watching. He's, all this stuff, right? So, and Baekhyun's part of CBX. Yeah. And we know Schumann and Chen have succumbed to the Red Force. And this whole time we're thinking Baekhyun has not succumbed to the Red Force, but what if he was the original? Right. Because he was the original that was injected with the IV of the darkness.
But like I was saying... Of the group that got so he might be the last one of that group.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. I think he was now that you're getting into my mind. Yeah. I think he was the first.
Well, in terms if we want to acknowledge that EXO in this video and the EXO in the last video, without the dimensional stuff thrown in, that it's something that we acknowledge. But these members are the exact same people. But you got to look at it differently because in that CBX video at the end, what's he do? He walks through that door, gone. He's gone. Yeah, he's gone. We don't know where he went.
Well, yeah,
we don't know
we don't know if he's following the other members that already walked through it.
We don't know if those members in themselves, because it seems like they're all on the same team in that particular world.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think Baekhyun was the first one. Wait, was Love Me right before that?
I don't know.
Ooh, I think Love Me Right was before that. Love Me Right was before that. Okay, so maybe Baekhyun wasn't the first one. So maybe it was still Schumann and Chen, and then when they got captured, Baekhyun. So now it's all of CBX is
contaminated.
And they're trying to contaminate the rest of the members, and Suho's like, no.
But then it's also, we have to look at it in terms of perspective of what is really going on. What's right and wrong. Because now we're starting to get into like ideals between two factions. Because we don't know what the Red Force is. Based on the legend, the Red Force is supposed to be this all-encompassing evil.
Well, if you look at Electric Kiss, they don't look like they're good. I mean, everything's desolate now.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not a good thing.
Right. But at the same token, it's just like, at some point we feel, we learn that they've come to our Earth.
Right.
So at that point, what's happening? Who came here before here? Because there's power. This Red Force has a lot more pull than EXO. The EXO that we know that gets dropped off on this planet. Which is why
they're like, can we do this in this video in Mama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is answering a lot of my questions from the beginning as it's going through the end, but I've kept that open mind of the fact that there is an opposing force. Because you were telling me in the very beginning, I don't know. I don't want to tell you, I don't want to spoil anything, but we'll go through this together. But as you've gone through this and gone back and forth, I haven't had anything to kind of like sway me to think anything other. Just being presented
other than just me telling you my take on it,
your take on it,
or what I've read about it.
But that's always been in the moment now. Like I don't go home and marinate on it and then come back and don't. But then seeing power, I'm going based on. I'm not using theories. I'm not going based on fan. It's what EXO is giving me, based on the facts that they're giving me, and that's how I'm formulating my opinion, based on like they have to be the dark side as well, but they've already acknowledged that there's multiple.
I will agree that think
we'll see. This is it's like
I know there's still a storyline.
This is a cliffhanger. Like, this isn't the end for sure. This isn't the end for sure.
But I will agree that based on everything we've spoken about, I will agree that I don't think all of EXO has to come to the Red Force like you do. I think that CBX, based on Love Me Right with Chen and Schumann and the red smoke and them concocting the liquid, and based on Lucky One where Baekhyun, his IV is injected with the darkness and he's light. Based on that, and based on the fact that the CBX video, Chen's blending up more flowers to make more of these concoctions.
And those things, it's like, we got to remember, we don't have to. This is how I'm perceiving it on why I look at it, that there are multiple EXOs. Not just the subgroups within the group.
Different dimensions.
And the different dimensions.
Here's my another take on that. I don't think there's multiple EXOs. I think there's multiple scenarios in different dimensions that they've had to deal with. And whether overcome or not overcome.
But they're not going to be the same group. You know what I mean? That's like saying you in this dimension is the same you in another dimension. It's not.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's necessarily multiple EXOs. I think it's the same EXO, whether they've changed as people because of what they were presented with.
But what's presented with as well, too. It's like they are in different places and times, exposed to masses of humanity and then without.
But that was because the two worlds, that's because there was an EXO K and the EXO M, and they're explaining why it's the two. That's obviously not the case anymore.
But they didn't want to retcon the whole thing.
I know, but I'm just saying that's not the case anymore, so can't really put that into a complete factor into here. But anyway, okay, what I was saying was, I do agree that I think CBX has been, like, kind of all of CBX has been kind of turned to the dark side. That does confuse me, though, with Love Shot, though, because Baekhyun kind of exposes Schumann, and then they do face off. So that does confuse me if Baekhyun's actually succumbed to it or not. I don't know. But...
And what was that? What was the last video that we watched before the Love Shot? The one
Tempo.
Tempo. Going back to the box, right?
Yeah,
so where's the rest of the crew?
No, because he went back alone.
Yeah, but what happens at the rest of the crew? Is he just going to hang out and play there all day? You know what I mean?
Or is he... Remember, there was like 2 Baekhyuns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're telling me, no, I don't think there's different EXOs.
We're not talking about
I had to stand up for a second. I'm getting hot.
I know, my ass is like...
I had to stand up. I had to adjust.
My butt is like... going numb, I swear to God.
But it's like you see that there's 2 different entities of the same person in that video. They introduced them as being some crazy bad boy bikers in the Badlands rolling into the Matrix. You're contradicting.
I totally just contradicted myself.
But you're again, that's that bias I'm talking about. You have your own opinion on what you feel, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I contradict myself thinking that there wasn't multiple EXOs at the same time.
Right.
Based on the fact that I just said there's two big yuns. So obviously, if I'm acknowledging there's two big yuns.
There's a root in there on why you feel like that, because you have your ideals.
No, I just think that...
EXO.
I just think that, like... It's all them, just in different places in time. I don't know. That's just my thought on it.
Right.
Not for any reason necessarily. That was just always my thought on it.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to acknowledge that there was possibly two Baekhyuns in tempo, one overseeing what's happening, then I have to acknowledge that there could be multiple
the one participating,
EXOs in
watching while he's watching another version of himself.
Exactly. So is EXO as a whole somewhere else, like the real EXO somewhere else,
they're
overseeing
all the real EXO.
anything.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're all the real EXO. There isn't a variation. The battle has crossed over to multiple timelines and multiple dimensions. So there's going to be casualties, there's going to be loss, there's going to be victories, but the struggle has always been internal. So now we're just seeing this. We are seeing the red force be manifested, because before it was just smoke and vapor and red lights in the background. But now things are changing in these other dimensions, and now as progress, that may be it. Maybe that's what all the positive music represents outside of the continuity that has nothing to do with the actual story segments in the videos. That positive music, that light, are the wins. Those are the battles that EXO together, they triumph, and that's what's causing these rifts to start closing and getting closer together. Now the red force is manifesting in these other worlds,
other ways,
and these darker songs with darker messages that are kind of not contradict, but just a different aspect of humanity and a different emotion being represented. Like, that's where that red force is starting to manifest within them, because it's that duality. So all the pop music, all the happy-go-lucky, the unity that doesn't have any story per se, that's the victory. That EXO is a group. That EXO is the one you champion for. That's the EXO in your heart of hearts. Is EXO in your mind versus the ones in the story videos of the continuity of the lore for the Red Force in this battle. That's where the offshoots from these other dimensions that we're seeing. Those are the losses. Those are the losses in the desolate worlds and the double eclipse black suns with no power. Like, these are the broken members that we're seeing, and they're starting to compound on the reality with each other. So now we're starting to see the other side, the conflict.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Ouch. Why are you leaving?
I gotta pee.
Hold on, let's close the video.
I gotta pee. I gotta pee so bad.
Guys, it is now
3 in the morning.
Almost 3 in the morning, 2:58. We're gonna call it a night. We have talked so much. He has to pee really bad. We have talked so much.
I've got up a couple times.
My mind is hurting because I don't even know what to think anymore, guys. There's so many possible.
There's just
so many possibilities. Yeah. There's so many possibilities. None of us really know what's actually what. I don't know. We shoot not one of us is going to know what's actually what until they come out and confirm anything. So this is all fun.
Crash course in EXO for me. This is it. I've only seen these dozen videos. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So this has just been us having fun, trying to play around with the theories and figure out what's actually going on. So who knows what's actually what. Yeah. My mind's been blown and opened up in different ways to kind of figure out, is there more than what I originally thought? So I don't know. Definitely crazy. So anyway, please, now that we've completed this, please let us know your thoughts on everything he has said. And has your mind changed? Has your mind opened up? Or do you think the same exact thing? Or do you think a combination of things?
Give me some things that I might be overlooking.
We will definitely get into, not tonight, obviously, but the next go around, we're going to get into watching theory videos from other people and see if maybe those theory videos that are going to be way more specific and actually show you video details of things might change your mind, or if you're still going to be stuck with, nope, I still think it's this. Yeah. So we'll figure that out as well. And if you guys know where the theory videos are, I mean, I'm sure I can search, but if you know of the good one that you really like,
because you know how my mind
the well done ones, exactly.
The well done ones, not just the ones because they fan on certain things, like the actual with plausible, presentable evidence.
Yes, exactly. Bring that
please
give us those links.
Yeah, bring that to the forefront.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and end this tonight. Please, once again, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. This is just us chit-chatting over what the hell might be happening. So thank you guys so much. We love you guys, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.